to get your mind back. Black and I'm proud. Black and I'm proud. When you claim you're Africanist, you're going to get your mind back. Black and I'm proud. Claim you're African. Black and I'm proud. I'm telling you. When you claim you're Africanist, you're going to get your mind back. Black and I'm proud. Claim you're African. Black and I'm proud. I'm telling you. When you claim you're Africanist, you're going to get your mind back. Black and I'm proud. Claim you're African. Black and I'm proud. I'm telling you. Become a part of it. Embrace it. 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 When you claim you're Africanist, you're going to get your mind back. Black and I'm proud. Claim you're African. Black and I'm proud. I'm telling you. When you claim you're Africanist, you're going to get your mind back. Black and I'm proud. Claim you're African. Black and I'm proud. I'm telling you.
Peace, and power, family. Dr. Daw is in the building over here trying to get some of these technological things together. However, in the building, back, I made it through the week. You know what I mean? I made it through to another show. After Queen of B gave me a lashing last week. You got what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So, had to recover. Had to get massages up in here, all types of things. You understand? So, but nonetheless, family, we're going to talk about some things today. I think what I posed was the idea of white Republican. I just was having this thought as I was going through the week. Republican white misogyny or misogynist versus Democrat white feminist party. So, I mean, I haven't had a lot of time to really flesh these ideas out. But as I reflected on, one of the things I like about, having conversations and all these type of things is that it allows me to sit back and reflect, especially when I'm challenged. But Queen of B, talk to the people. I'm hearing myself back a little bit too, but I don't know what that is all about.
You are? Oh, no.
I can't hear you, Queen.
I'm muted. Pardon me.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. Greetings from the South Carolina studios. I want to say, what up, folk? Tonight I'm ready to go. I got my bucket, my camel bucket. That means I'm ready to go to war. So I don't want no problems with Da tonight. So I got the camel bucket on. That's right. You know what I'm saying? Even though my swag is a little messed up because I got my speakers on, but it's okay. But listen.
What's a camel bucket?
This is a great subject. What I have on my bucket had this camouflage. Get a camel bucket. Get it right. Okay. Yeah. So this is my goal because you got your little you got your camel on. So I'm like, listen, I'm falling in line tonight. Okay, and listen, we're gonna have a great conversation tonight. It's Thoughtful Thursday. Listen, on Tuesday we saw the debates. Thoughtful Thursday, baby. Because on Tuesday we had the other half of these presidential candidates. Did
you watch it?
I mean, they're vice presidents.
See, look at you. You saw. Listen, who's in line with patriarchy here?
I'm telling you, I don't call them the wives.
So the idea is the one that's in charge is the males. So the second in charge have to be the females. So you see what I'm saying? Look, see, I mean, that's gender is fluid, right?
As a mug. As a mug. So I saw. I didn't really watch it. I did see pieces of it. I've heard people talk about it. I'm just really sick of the rhetoric and just the intentional lies, the intentional amount of lies that we're getting in these debates or so to me, it just brings more like cloud to the sky, and the sky is already clouded. So we're moving from that debate into this subject. So we can talk about that debate. Did you look at the vice president debate, Doc?
I looked at it. I mean, did I pay any? What did I think? I think Vance killed him. I think
you think Vance killed him?
I think Vance laid it on.
He lied a lot.
It doesn't matter. He still killed him. We talking about the debate, or we talking about accurate information?
Oh, that's true. There's two different questions, right?
I mean, Vance was so
I think
good.
Waltz is not a debater. I don't think he's bad, but I don't think he's a debater. He's just
obviously.
But I don't think Vance is
However, I mean, I think that people say he did what he. Now, I can agree that he did what he did. Like he didn't.
I think he did the best that he could do. Like he's just real, like this real non-assuming guy, and he came at it the best he could. I think.
Well, I think is in some degree what I haven't really looked at a lot of commentary about it, but when you think about it, you think about Kamala, right, and you think about Trump. You think about somebody who's an attorney. Now, although Trump can hold his own, he's been a business guy, but he's getting older. He's getting older, and he's just a straight, liar many times, right? So, but
he's been doing this trash for a long time. He's really good.
Yeah. So you get it. So then the other thing is, I think Vance really became a person that nobody expected him to become. I mean, even on the abortion question, he did a good job. Like, although it was like he made it seem so humane to a degree. His values and things. It wasn't hardcore. It wasn't like just cut, like directly punch you in your face type of thing.
I think he's a good smoozer. He's really good at that. He's really good at speaking and a smoozer, but he just looks like a liar. Those blue eyes, he looks like I don't want to say
like okay. Looks like, so people with blue eyes look like liars.
No, I was going to say more with the blue eyes. I said he looks like a liar, and then said, and those blue eyes, and I was going to say he looks like he looks like somebody I wouldn't trust at all. Before he opens his mouth, I'm like, lie. No.
To be honest, I don't think there's too many people in that state. You want to know the real truth? From what I've been hearing,
looks like, I would like to have a conversation. He looks like your uncle, like the white uncle.
He don't like my uncle, but
I say the white uncle, Walsey.
He does, but Kamala doesn't look trustworthy. People don't trust Kamala. Lots of people don't trust her.
I don't think they trust her, but I don't think they trust Trump neither.
I know. I do get. They trust Trump even less. Well, they do. Trump,
that's what
no. They trust Trump to tell you all the stuff. They do trust Trump to say exactly what's on his mind.
Mm-hmm.
Kamala, on the other hand, it's rough. I mean, listening to Trump is rough. It's like he's just going to say anything, and Kamala's going to say everything. Trump is going to say anything, and Kamala's going to say everything. She's going to say, I'm for fracking, I'm against fracking. I'm for this, I'm against this. It's like she just...
What candidate doesn't do that?
No.
Do the same thing.
Well, no.
Yes, he does. He said that he was going to... He said he does this. They all do it. They all say one thing.
No. Well, not to the level that a Kamala. I mean, I get what you're saying. There's some truth to that.
Yeah, I think they all.
There's you do. I get what you're saying, but you understand there's levels to things, right?
It might be levels, but I think they're all liars. They all do the same stuff.
No, we're not talking about whether they're liars. We've already kind of...
Well, I mean, you say fracking, then you say not fracking, you lied.
Well, we're saying that in Kamala switches up. Like, that's a clear thing. Even in her responses. It's funny because Waltz did a good job of his best Kamala's rendition.
But I mean, listen, to me, they all have issues. I don't like her or him, actually.
Look, check it out. If I say something negative about... Hold on. If I talk about Trump, right? Give you an idea.
I don't like her.
Look. You won't say, well, Kamala does it too. But when I say something about Kamala, you want to say something about Trump.
I said Trump does it too. I said Kamala does. They both. I really don't like both of them. I don't like her more than I like him. Trust me.
Okay. Well, I'm just telling you. I'm just sharing that as we talk when I speak about Kamala's stuff, it's like all of them do it. When I say about Trump stuff, you don't say all of them do it. If Trump, you can accept what Trump does, but Kamala,
because with Trump, I think no one does what he does. No one does the amount of foolery that he does and still is able to get away with it. The things that come out his mouth, people are able, they actually digest it and then make excuses for him. It's like he has a level of, he's so avant-garde that they expect it and like it. Like they like his foolery and the things that come out of his mouth. So I think he does something that no one does too.
Yeah,
you know,
I'm going to say they're
you know
both,
what I'm saying, how he presents.
Yeah, they're both highly proficient in the way that they articulate themselves. I swear to
And
God,
they're trash.
I think
Exactly.
Kamala is. I'm telling you, I think Kamala is. I mean, I get and I agree that Kamala and lots of politicians does what Kamala does, but I am going to argue, suggest, and I maintain that she does it at higher levels. What she does, she is good at it. Like she does it all in the same paragraph. I am for Israel and Palestine. I mean, for them, they're right. And then she turns around and she does her other little job. Like she shucks and jives, but she does it good. I'm just saying, she's good at it. She's like the quintessential politician. Trump is not. I agree. he is Trump.
You know what I mean? Bring his little baggy self in there and do whatever he want to do.
I mean, I guess unless you start talking about people like,
too.
I guess if you start talking about people like Reagan and stuff, people talk about how similar Trump is to a Reagan. He's a star. He's a star before he became a politician, and But this topic,
Reagan was a little polished than him. Reagan was a malicious, but
he's
a very
movie
good
star.
orator. He was
an
a great orator. Yeah,
right.
He was an actor. He's a good orator. Trump is he does nothing good. Nothing.
No, I mean, he absolutely is somewhat good at being a liar. I mean, I can't say
he's
that.
Great at that.
So you say he does nothing good. I mean, he's a good liar.
I said, but a liar.
But he's also good. But that is good, and that's what makes him attractive to people. Not that he's just good at being a liar, but he's also good at making you feel like he will defend this country, that he's going to be a powerhouse, that he will protect the land and he will protect the soil, and he'll be the one who put Kim Jong Un. He'll put him in a headlock or something like that, But to this topic, Republican, white misogynist party, Democrat, white feminist party. What do you think of? I mean, like, I know I sent that topic to you, and you probably like, what is he talking about? Like, why?
I'm like, why? I'm not. I'm like, what is this? Yeah, what is this? But I do want to say, out of Kamala and Trump, she's better to me than Trump. I do want to say that, but I don't like.
I've gotten to the point that I'm going to go for
the issues, but
I've gotten Trump to the point
is a mess.
I got to the point I can't even say that. I've gotten to the point that I'm saying I definitely got to go with the Revolutionary Party.
With the one,
whichever one. If I had to choose between Kamala and Jill Stein, I would go with Jill Stein. I'm sorry to say that, people. If I had to go with, and I have, I'm not saying that there's no other people out there, but I know that Jill Stein and Butch Ware,
Dela Cruz chick.
Dela Cruz, all of them, I would choose them
Cornel
over.
West.
Cornel will be fun in the White House. I just don't. I keep saying he'll be fun. I would love to wake up and hear see Cornel West as president, right? Now I don't know how fun that. I don't know what he would do.
It would be the biggest dream. That's Willy Wonka.
Yeah. Yeah, I just don't know. I don't even know if he's presidential, but I just know it would be that. I would love to see the day. I would love to see the day that a person like Cornel West, with talking about jazz and Coltrane and Biggie Smalls and all this, will be up in the White House. Could you imagine? When they say that's when you got a real black man in the White House. Like, whether you agree with him or not. That man, look, if he was in the White House, could you imagine the interviews could you imagine the next 4 years with Cornel West philosophizing and doing all those things in the White House? Oh my God.
But he interviews very well. He's great at speaking. He's very intellectual. We know this. So I think that he won't do a bad job. I mean, Cornel's not a dummy. Let's get it twisted. I mean, he loves music. He's a little off collar, but this guy, very smart dude. And I think that he can handle himself.
What do you mean he'll do great though? I mean, I guess.
I say he'll do great.
What do you say?
That's it. Would do great.
I mean, I'm not saying what you said no more.
I think he. Shut up.
I mean, if you're gonna say great, you did say something positively affirming of him.
Well, I think he will when it comes to world leaders and being able to talk to people and be able to think. I don't think Trump can think. I think that he can hold his own. I think he's a smart guy. I think Trump thinks in his own morphed thought process he brings to everything. And then he doesn't put people, I think, in place that actually can help him. I think he puts some people in place that he can control. I don't know about Kamala. I don't know what she's been the head of. Other than I think this is her highest office, so I don't know.
Yeah, this gets to my point though. It's like, okay, so what do I mean, about Republican, the white misogynist party?
Yeah, what does that mean?
Republican being white misogynist, I would say would be like they want to, in some ways, they have these, and I'm saying extreme Republicans, the ones that we see on the national stage, the MAGA Republicans, right? And when I say Democrats being the white feminist party, I want to be clear. I'm speaking specifically to the mainstream, the presidential federal level party, those people. I'm not speaking to our brothers and sisters at the local level that are doing good work. Like our councilmen, our senators. I think that their politics are a little different. I think they're a lot different, to be honest with you. I don't think, like, when you think about a Brandon Scott, right? Let's think about it. Whether or not you agree with Brandon Scott. I know people will try attack me about Brandon Scott or Senator Cory McCray or what's the brother's name? Delegate Young or different. I'm sorry, Queen, you're on mute.
The guy that came to your joint, isn't it Kalen or something?
Yeah, Kalen Young. Right.
Young.
Right. So when you think about these brothers and sisters at that level, like a Jackie Young, Delegate Jackie Young, I'm talking about here in Baltimore and Maryland, right? I'm not suggesting that these people are part of that. I don't even, but what I am saying is when I'm looking at the Democratic Party, the mainstream federal level, presidential level party and the ticket and all the people that follow them, there's a way it's a white feminist regime. And I'm arguing that the Republican Party is a white male misogynistic regime. So the white misogynistic male regime sees women as not necessarily only controlling their bodies, but really controlling their bodies for various reasons. I've done some more research on it, even like this whole idea of the reason why, much of what we find here in the white in the Democratic politic of Roe versus Wade and the white woman's body, and why the white men and how even some of the feminists were at one time. They said, I forgot who was it. Man, I don't have it. I just don't. I want to get stuck there. But nonetheless, this is what I want to say. It was about procreating, as you said. It was about maintaining birth rates of white people, and hence there was even white women who at one time they weren't necessarily saying that well, we want to it's our bodies for the fact to say it's our bodies. It was saying this is our bodies as a result because you won't give us what we want. So it was more like a bargaining chip. So we will abort if y'all don't give us what we want. So in fact, it became a bargaining chip from the white feminist regime. So I'm not getting stuck in history, but what I'm saying is when you begin to look at this thing, you begin to see these very right-wing Republican males that are against everything that ain't white. And then you see on the other end is white feminist regime that everything goes. It's like everything goes. It's like there's like so you got those who supposedly think they have values, the Republican white misogynist male regime, which is supported by white patriarchy, and women also fall in that. They are part of the patriarchy as well because they've bought into it, the doctrine of patriarchy, Republican white misogyny. And then you also have on the right hand side, you or the left, you not quite left, but somewhere towards the left, you have white feminist, the white feminist party. And in that, everything goes. It's very individualistic. It's not always family oriented. It's like, let's just burn our bras type of party. So it's like one is like rigid and trying to keep up the old white standard, and the other one's like, hell no, y'all not giving us what we want, and we don't want to be second citizens anymore. And then black people kind of funnel in here, and we kind of think, just like white feminists have always done, they push their issues, and we go and we fall into their issues, and we follow their issues, but really it's about them. It's not about black women. It's not about black men. They say that, or they'll say it to some degree. Well, yeah, white women have always, to some degree, seemingly been more delicate with black people. They like I always say, white women say, save the whales, the dolphins, and the niggas. So what I'm saying is, that somehow, again, I am anti letting white women off the hook, and I am saying we are, as black people, many times operating in these spaces, supporting one or the other, and neither one of them have our best interests at hand. And one is more on the new way, burning your bras, and the other one is like, old way, look, stay a virgin and let me have sex with black women. Go ahead. And the other one is like, you be the nanny for our children. Let us get our rights first. And I'm telling you, I do not believe that black people have the same federal level politics. I mean, like, or issues. I mean, even when you think about Kamala's, whatever she says she's going to do, I swear, what is it really there to clap about? I mean, like what she's been posing, $25,000, like what? The whatever, like, what is it that is child
tax credit, so she's talking about, these people who have children, they get a greater tax credit. I think that makes sense.
A greater tax. What is it? Tell me more about that. Do you know a lot about that, or you just heard it?
If I'm not from I think it's been 5,000. I think she's doubling it.
Because I've been listening to. Yeah, I've been listening, but I'm hearing her talk about.
And I think she's really focused on like pharmaceutical drugs, which they did a lot with that, with insulin, and they're gonna.
Right.
And she's really.
I'm talking about for black people.
Well, I think the insulin game helps us.
Yeah.
In a way, because we're definitely diabetic.
I mean, I can agree with that.
And then the thing they were doing for elders, I think that elder care in our community is
there anything you can find on the right that you can agree with?
The right, that's Trump.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what, Trump
on the surface level.
On the surface level, I don't like his tariffs. I think that
I'm talking about what can you agree with?
What can I agree with?
Mm-hmm.
He has nothing I can agree with. I don't like Trump.
I'm talking about on the surface. On the surface, you have to have one thing that you can at least agree with. If you, like most people I know who've read Project 2025, they say on the surface it sounds like something that you can say, oh, I can get with
this. 900 pages.
Project 2025. Yeah. Not project. Okay, pages. You have a. I'm sorry. Agenda 47. I'm sorry.
Okay, Agenda 47. Okay.
Mm-hmm,
that's I'm not reading that. But I heard. Who said something that that just changed my DNA. I don't want to say his name right. Ta-Nehisi.
Coates.
Yeah, I was listening to
Ta-Nehisi
him,
Coates. He's from
and
Baltimore.
yeah, no, this guy he's so brilliant. And or if he might have not said it because I was watching him recently. I might conflate. So work with me. I know you're gonna come for me, but I did it. You might have said it that if you put, I heard this on your with the psychologist. If you put the Patriot Act and this 2025 side by side, will there be any difference? The Patriot Act, guys, is 300. It's already in law, and it's 300 some pages. This 2025 is 900 pages. So they're
Dr.
saying that
Ball,
this is just Dr. Ball, he did say that this is an escalation. And I did a thing, and you trying to get to compare them. Like, what do they have? This 2025, we talk about was something we never seen. Listen, we got something on the books right now that's very limiting. When I listened to Dr. Ball, and I heard that from him, I went and tried to read the comparison so much, but the Patriot Act sucks, and in a lot of ways, and it was put into law so quickly. Many of the legislators didn't read it. You cannot tell me they're reading 2025, neither. They might be reading Agenda 47, but not 2025. So we are in this conundrum of policy that we don't even understand.
Right. So I am saying that I think on both ends, you can find things that you tend to agree with.
Well, tell me what you agree with
on a surface level. Now I have to look. I have to look them both up. Let me do that while you do this. I will have to look them both up.
Yeah, on the surface level.
Now of course.
I think you know what.
Now I can't. No, you go ahead. I'm sorry. No, I was saying.
I think if the only way that we're going to vote now, I think this voting that we're doing, we're voting just because we dislike Trump, or we dislike some of his policy, or we're voting for Kamala because she's a Black woman, or we're voting for Kamala because we feel safe. I don't know the reasoning for Black folks. Like, listen, we got to vote for Kamala Harris. I'm not sure what it is. And people say it's the best of both evils, but we got to stop living in that world. I think that's a dangerous world too. Evil's evil. It's no best of both evil.
Well, I mean, if that's what you believe, I mean, I'm really trying to figure out which one do you really believe? Because I mean, if there's no best of, that's what I've been saying the whole conversation.
Zero.
Like that's what I've been saying. So all the things you said up until this point, we just null out.
I mean, listen, if I had to choose between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, I'm going to choose Kamala Harris. If I had to choose between Kamala Harris and all of these other little sideshows, because they're not going to be president neither. But I think that we do ourselves a disservice because we think that they're interrupters. We have to interrupt the two-party system. And my sister Monica, she's throwing some real stuff in the chat. Listen, guys, jump in the chat. Don't hold back. We're gonna throw the link in the chat soon. Listen, and Monica is jumping in the chat, and she isn't holding back. But I really think that also when people talk about Jill Stein and Dela Cruz and all of these for under comments and all of these folks, we say that they're interrupters, that they're taking votes away from the Democrat. We need to. I just think that our mindset, we have such a colonial mindset that whatever's in front of us and that they like and they market and they think is so good, we have to jump on the back. We don't. If you're going to change this foolishness that we're going through with this two-party system, we have to show that these other parties or these other people are viable. That is what change it looks like. You might never win. It was she's getting funded to interrupt. Somebody need to interrupt. That's the problem. No one wants to interrupt. You cannot settle for people who are hurting your people and your children just because they're the best of both evils. That is not the way it works. They're all evil. Democrats ain't doing nothing for Africans, and Republicans ain't doing nothing neither.
So do you truly believe that? Do you truly believe that?
I truly believe that. I think we're going to get perks from them. I think definitely, like I said, Sister Kamala and her her diabetes or insulin joint, that's going to help Black people. I absolutely think Obamacare is going to help Black people. I absolutely think that. But what's the other stuff Obama did? We got to talk about that too. And so, I just wonder that they all are going to fund the wars. They all are going to fund Israel and their movements. We got to look at this. Kamala's going to give Israel money.
Well,
so is Trump.
That's struggles. That's a struggle of mine, but also in how everything is interconnected, and even how Israel is in their relationship with Africa, and Israel and their relationship with Polish brutality in our own country. So I mean, I just can't. Again, I can't find a way. Look, at this point, I just have to be honest. I cannot stomach the idea. I cannot with my own value system go and push anything that says Kamala. I just can't. I've come to the conclusion. I would rather be a protest. No, I just can't. I can't do it. It doesn't go with my values. I cannot fund genocide. And the genocide is not just in Palestine. The genocide is all across this world under these Black or these Democratic politicians. They politicians. They have funded and fueled in a lot of these wars against people. And they soften the blow. And I'm just saying I can't do it. I mean, in fact, why even in the state in Maryland, we already know it's going to go blue. What's the deal? I mean, will I vote for a Democrat on a local level? I will. I cannot choose Kamala at this point. I can't. Anybody, so other people can.
I just think that change does not start with the best of both evils. We got to look past that, or making Trump so terrible. Because listen, the Democratic Party has not been a pallbearer. I'm gonna say an honor bearer for Africans. So listen, we have to look at that. We have to see what's going on right now. Okay, we have Democrats in office.
Let me give you.
They're funding wars, baby.
Let me give you something. Let me tell you what.
Listen, and these folks are going to start a third world war if we don't start that. And these are our people. These are brown people. Hezbollah and all of this. This is brown people they blowing.
So let's look at this. So let's look at this. All right. Again, let me preface this by saying it's a bunch of BS. Okay. It's BS. But I wanted to kind of go into Agenda 47. All right. So let's go with immigration and border security. Trump has focused on strict immigration policies, including strengthening border security, building more barriers along the U.S.-Mexico border, and deporting undocumented immigrants. So that might, we might say, well, yes, see, we these people, this is their land. They was here before us and all that. But when you then ask Kamala the same question, Kamala is trying to outdo Trump in this immigration policy. Like she's literally trying to be further right than him. And she said, I am the one who was in California and did all these type of things. And she's really, when I really listen to Kamala, I began to realize why people call her a right. She's really jockeying for the right. She's really jockeying for the right. She's not like speaking of these people the same way that she was speaking about the Dream Act and all this stuff back in the days. She's saying something as far right as Trump, if not further right. Then you say, so another thing, economic policies, Agenda 47, right? Promises in this area have included measures aimed at reducing inflation, cutting taxes, and boosting American energy independence. Trump also emphasizes bringing manufacturing jobs back to the U.S. and reducing dependence on foreign supply chains. Now, that that's what I'm saying. On the surface level, does that not sound enticing? When we also know that Democrats are also responsible for outsourcing and sending these jobs across seas and enslaving people at the same time while doing it. So what I'm saying is, I'm not saying that. No. Some people, you have to understand, Trump is people are Trump is clearly stating, and I'm not fighting. Look, don't vote for Trump. I'm going to say that clear. So, but what I'm saying is, you have to understand what Trump says that is appealing to people, in our people. Even you talking about bringing jobs back to this country. Democrats hardly ever say anything like that,
because Trump, it's a digital economy is not going to bring the manufactured jobs back to the U.S. We got to stop being stuck on
what happened.
A digital economy or a cashless economy, or how we're moving in technology, manufactured jobs is not coming back to the U.S. So stop fooling yourself. It's not happening. AI is everywhere. It's not happening.
So what are you saying?
Amazon, these big corporations are walking into technology. They're going to get rid of you.
The reality is it can be brought back. The reality is I'm not saying Trump is going to do it or he's the savior, but I'm talking about what is appealing to people, especially when they don't have a job, when they know that people across seas are being slave laborers, right? And so if they did not outsource due to it being financially beneficial to them and while enslaving other people, they would have to find alternatives here. But because they can get people who work at slave wages like they did on our own ancestors, they will continue to do that.
Listen, that's the heartbeat of America. They're going to find a slave, baby.
Well, so what I am saying is this is why I can't support either or. I can't support that.
No, I don't.
So,
I mean, I think we don't look at the policies like you really, we don't delve deep into what they're doing. We're saying, listen, we like this vote, we like this one, but listen, both of them have issues. But we haven't seen these green parties or these other parties. So how are we able to even circumvent that they're good for us neither?
What we can at least go by is at least what they say, and they say it strongly, right? Okay. And whereas these people, again, when I'm listening to politics, I don't even like words like that. Like when people when they do words like that, like politics. But again, I'm starting to have a appreciation for it, because just think about the whole electoral process in our country, where it's a sport. It's not even real. It's a sport. Like they literally, after debates, we're talking about who sounded better, who was more finesseful, who had better talking points, and somehow this gets you in the White House. Like, who can promote better? Who has the bigger budget? Who has greater endowments? Who has greater supporters? Who has the millionaires following them? And now you're placating and contorting to all these things, So I mean, it's a joke. It's a real joke.
But we have some things to answer in the chat. Monica's she's coming at us. She's telling us to do some research.
Is Monica the sister? Is Monica
Sister Cooper that was on here before?
What was she saying? Do research about?
I was here on us with that. About manufacturing jobs like solar, offshore wind is already returning.
Well, Monica
Solar
seems to be
panels are part of a digital economy, sis. That's technology. That is solar panels are not something that our parents did. That's a different type of manufacture. It's still part of a digital economy. We're talking. I'm talking about folding, making shirts and doing things that's done in China. That's not coming back. But yes,
what is she saying? No manufacturing jobs for solar, offshore wind. What is she saying? What is she?
It's already returning. Solar is. It was not. That's not an industry that we had 30 years ago, 40 years ago.
No,
at the way that we are now. Solar was here, but we're actually investing in it now. So it's not. It never left.
I'll say this. So Queen and I differ on this particular the response that you're giving. I mean, I can agree with Queen that what she responded to, but the initial conversation that prompted Monica's what prompted Monica's Queen
rebuttal,
the cue. The cue. You got the cue? Okay.
I got it, bro.
Okay. So so the response that Monica is responding to is Queen speaking to there's nothing here to like in this digital economy. Digital economy is one thing again, but if they were not using slave labor and we didn't allow them to do slave labor, they would have to utilize people at a respectful wage, but you will not when you can take advantage of people. You say, hey, that's the American way. But again, I can't stand for that American way.
Well, me neither, brother. But like she said, the CHIPS Act. The CHIPS Act is a new act, and that is actually building our own chips. That is another new technology that is attached to digitization. So these are not stuff that's coming back. We're seeing that it makes sense to invest in chips inside of this country. So
That's not true though, Queen. She's
what
right.
Do you mean it's
She's right.
The CHIPS Act that's not
no.
Anything
I'm
new.
saying. Are you talking about chips for computers?
Yes.
That is not a digital thing. That is an actual.
It's a part of our digitization. My parents didn't have chips.
Well,
it's not something that was here before. You say when something's coming back, it had to be here before.
They've had chips. Didn't have any chips. No. They've had chips for a long time. Look, back in the day, my aunt, which is probably the same age as your mother, my father, even who is the younger brother, worked at Westinghouse Electronics. And they had all types of chips for satellites and all these type of things. My father literally, one of his jobs was to work on manufacturing the chips at Westinghouse Electronics.
I'm not saying chips are not here, dog. I'm saying the economy around chips and us manufacturing this country is because of digitization. I'm not saying, listen, I work in science. We had chips. I'm not saying they weren't here. I'm saying the CHIPS Act is a recall because of what happened during COVID. We need to make so we don't have any problems with our supply through the supply chain. We need to make chips in-house. So that happens because we have a plethora of digitization in the country. If it was just the chips that your father, my father, and my grandfather worked on, then they wouldn't have a CHIPS Act. That's what I'm saying. So it's not something that returning. The part technology has made chips more available, more the usage, the movement of chips and how they're being installed. We need to do that in-house. So that's why the CHIPS Act is here. So it's not saying that it's returning. What we're doing is being smart about manufacturing things that we should manufacture.
That's what she's saying, though. That's what I'm saying.
But you're saying, I'm saying that it's not an old something that left. It's something that's being introduced. It is something that we invest in because it makes sense. It didn't leave.
I don't know what you're saying, but what you did just say to Monica is that is digital technology. And that's a part of digitization. And that was not going on when my parents were around.
At this level, it was not.
Well, it's still at the end of the day at this level, or was it?
It did not make sense for us to make chips in this country then. It made no sense.
Well, they were making chips and a lot more things before they start outsourcing. That's a fact.
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is the reason why we have a CHIPS Act is because of our usage of technology. That's what I'm saying. And since we have and technology is growing, so we need to make chips in country. It makes sense.
Well, that's not the argument. I mean, that's still not the argument. That's not the argument, though. The argument was
the argument is saying that bringing it back. I said no. Let me put it up. No manufacturing jobs for solar offshore wind is already returning. Never left. The infrastructure bill, the CHIPS Act, all of these are come on, guys, research. CHIPS Act is not something that we invested in earlier.
What I'm hearing from what y'all saying, I think I can agree with both. I don't think it's a this or that. If I'm understanding, I don't know what the hell the CHIPS Act is, but from what your explanation, no. From your explanation,
they want to make chips in-house.
Yeah,
not in
you
China,
already explained it, and that's why I'm saying that from what you're saying, right, and from what Monica is saying, I think there's not. I can see how her response was to us, although I wasn't the one who said it. That it seemed as if you thought that there was, due to the digitization, there was not going to be any need for bringing back manufacturing and things here. I mean, you kind of said that. So the reality is, in this digitized world,
I stand by that. I'm talking about the old
Well,
manufacturing jobs. I'm not
well,
talking
it
about
does.
this.
Well,
Our,
well, we're not going
our
to talk about.
manufacturing that's attached to technology.
Nobody said
Manufacturing that's attached
old,
to technology
but
makes sense.
but nobody said old manufacturing jobs. All they said was manufacturing jobs.
Okay.
I mean, because no one's going to be asking you in 2024 to be manufacturing parts for a 1967 Chevy. We just want to manufacture the parts for the 2024 Chevys. That's just an analogy.
Okay. I don't know what that analogy means, but thank you. So let's get some more proper perspective. What did he say here? She right about that. Obama told coal miners they needed to get new skills. Trump said he would bring coal back. He didn't. Those coal miners got screwed. Oh, I didn't even see that. But yeah, coal is not coming back to this country. It's not. I mean, I'm talking about these old industries that are gone and not coming back.
Are they?
Not
Are they
attached to these new industries? That's what I'm talking about.
So this is a question. This is a real question. Where are they manufacturing coal at?
Where are they? Well, I don't think we're using coal. We're doing fossil fuel now.
So that's a null and void conversation. That's why I asked
coal
the
was
question.
something that was big in this country.
I know, but if we're talking about the argument is not against Trump and his stupidity. The argument is that manufacturing can happen in this country. It can. It absolutely.
I said
well, the old manufacturing. No one's asking for like if Trump is asking for old manufacturing. Yeah, I get
He's
that.
talking about coal, which is stupid. That's really don't make sense.
No, now you know Trump is not only talking about coal, right? That literally in this part, he got some crazy stuff in here too, right? That is tech based property. You know that. He actually has things that Trump is talking about flying cars and every goddamn thing.
Okay.
So it's not, huh?
I said that they're going to do that. That makes sense.
So it's not. I mean, maybe he said this one thing, or who thinks that Trump is not going to say a stupid thing? Trump says stupid stuff. But at the end of the day, I'm both. The reality is, it has nothing to do with the old stuff. They are utilizing things now. They are manufacturing outside of the country that is new that can also be done in this country. That's the argument.
Okay. Let's get Shabazz in here. What is Shabazz saying? He said Obama, welcome Shabazz. He said Obama told coal miners they needed to get. Oh, that was Shabazz. That wasn't my boy. Oh, it was. He's talking about that too. Obama told coal miners they need to get new skills. Trump said he would bring coal back. He didn't. And certain industries become dinosaurs. Ain't no coming back after that. I think that's. So moving on from that.
I think that's my cousin. I think he using two computers.
Oh, is it? But okay. He was saying the same thing, but yeah, I think there's no coming back for that. So in a free world, tech is moving fast. We cannot survive without chips. We're dependent upon China. If we don't have chips, out, economy shut down. We're moving away from being dependent on other countries. I agree. The chips that makes sense to me. I said that. I actually agree. Russia is the largest producers of coal. Okay.
Do we use that, Monica? Do we use that? Do we use Russia's coal?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't think we are, but I can't really state that. I don't know much about coal, but I know we're using fossil fuel.
Okay. Getting back to
why would anybody listen to that dude lies?
Okay.
It's not about Shabazz is proper perspective. They're the same person. Is that true? So they're the same person. Proper perspective is here.
I know my cousin. I'm thinking that might be my cousin. Yeah, that's daggone sure sounds like it because you see the Islamic and the African name put together.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you know the conversation at hand though is white Republican, white misogynist party versus Democratic white feminist party. Go back to those questions about burning bras and stuff. I saw something about burning bras.
I'm like, where did that come from?
Because I did say that.
Yeah, I know you did. Burning bras had less to do with party and more about women's rights. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't do the white woman feminist thing, but women just earned the right to have their own bank accounts in 1974.
Now, what does burning bras have to do with women's rights. And which women are you talking about? That to me is the most white feminist thing. I don't hear about too many black women. Black women, they they are doing the natural thing today, and I think they have the right to do that. But burning bras was a political act, especially led by white women.
I don't know about the burning bra days. I'm gonna stay out of that one. And I ain't burning no bra. Bras expensive, baby. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with these women. They must don't got no quality bras. No,
I'm saying so, but my point is when we support, I maintain it doesn't take. You don't have to know every policy. All you gotta do is use your brain. That's a fact. Mm-hmm. Like I'm not gonna sit up here and act like I know every policy because everybody else out here faking. Even the politicians act like they know every policy. All of us are experts all of a sudden. I don't have to know all that to know that people are corrupt. Okay, I don't have to know none of that. All I have to see is patterns, and I see when I look at the white Democratic Party at the federal level. They are the white feminist regime that really is more about individualization, white women's rights, and then then we also hijack all the political struggles that before us. White women and their white misogynist party has always hijacked black movements. Monica, come on up in here. You don't know every policy, okay? You don't. I just know that. I mean, I'm smart enough to know that you don't know every policy. I'm smart enough to know that you must. What you don't sound like you know is how the Democratic Party has been playing us a fool. What you don't seem like you know is that the status quo ain't gonna serve us. What you don't seem to know is that you can continue to put all your interest into this white feminist regime. And you think it's going to serve us, and when you look all around this world and you see the bombs that they're dropping on people and closing your eyes and acting like you don't see it, something must be wrong. There is definitely something wrong when we acting like this white feminist party, the Democratic federal party in this country, who is killing people all around the world, and is also killing us. When you see our communities, there's no. That like you can try, but there is no excuse for that. They have not delivered on what they said they're going to deliver. We know that Obama has never done it. We know that it is unlikely that they will continue to do it. We know that they give us all types of talk, but we know that we are still in the same place economically, if not worse, than what we were when we were just set free from slavery. So if you think that somehow that you have to know every policy to know that our people are hurting and are hungry, then I'm sorry, I'm saddened that you think you got to eat a whole cow to know the shit is beef. I'm sorry. I'm smart enough to know patterns. I'm smart enough to know that you can act and fake like you know some stuff. You can act like you know all these little white feminist talking points, and then people can act like they know all these white misogynistic Republican talking points, and all of it is just serving us. You have the white misogynistic males in the Republican Party that are pushing and fighting against the white feminist Democratic Party, and we get some trinkets from them. Yeah, they do like white women do. They treat you nice and rub your head and give you some toothpaste when the white man don't want to give you none of it. And then somehow we think that is doing something for us. I am sorry, it is not. When you can't speak truth to power, I'm sorry. I am not. I'm sorry. My values are greater. I am not voting for people who drop bombs on people who have been oppressed in this world, and and act like everything started on October the 6th, whatever damn sure the Kamala says. What is October? Let's get it clear. On October the 6th. What about before October the 6th, you damn liar? What about before then? And what about what they're doing in Africa? What about AFRICOM and the Democratic Party? What about all these things? Stop the bullshit.
He hot now, y'all. Da is hot. Listen,
I don't have to know these fucking, excuse my language. I was going to say these policies. I do not have to know these policies to know that they're bullshit. Ooh. And then what they do is keep us appeased enough to continue to stay in the shit.
Listen, guys, if you want to come in, I put the link in the chat. We're leaving Facebook.
Pardon my sister. I had to
Instagram, they're dropping my joint. So if you're on Facebook, you better come to YouTube because we're going to drop Facebook. Facebook does not deserve all of this fire. Da is coming. Monica, you can come on in.
Well, if you know what they're doing, come to act YouTube. Like it. If you know what they're doing, act like it, Monica, because now you're insulting people, one, and you're telling people to research, but you acting like you haven't. You acting like you haven't. And you were talking to Queen mostly, but I'm going to tell you, you acting like you haven't been researching. Because obviously you don't understand oppression. What you understand is democratic talking points, and you hate Trump, and you scared.
Whoa. Da hot, y'all. The pot is hot. I want you guys to jump in the chat. You can come on. Listen, I put the link in the chat. You can come on with us and talk to us. Brother Shabazz, you can come on in. Sister Monica, come on in. We could talk live. We could make this happen. So it's just very important for us to have these conversations, because a lot of times we look at these parties and we're not looking at their full movement. And we're being abused. Africans are being abused with these parties.
And stop beating up on parties like the third, whatever they call them, the third, whatever parties, whatever, because we know. And then what we want to do is say things like, oh, well, they're never going to win. And things like, why don't nobody want to vote for you? That's crazy. You know what that reminds me of? Fools back in the day when polite and all types of corrupt people in our community say, look at how many views I get. That makes me more credible because I got more views. Because you're a better charlatan and more people follow you because you're a charlatan, it makes you somehow more credible? What? Because you got more people. Just think about, look at Trump, talking about how many people he got at his rallies. And then Kamala is definitely playing it up too. How many people you got? Look at, she really saying, when she said to Trump, when she tricked him into that thing, when she really was saying, I got more people at my rallies than yours. Literally, that's what I'm fly. And I'm not, look, everything in me want to see this black woman. I mean, I can't say there's not a piece in me that want to see a black woman in the White House, but I am sorry. We all fell for the dupe with Obama and all the people we were talking to when Obama went in that White House. And when after he matriculated through his tenure, then people saying, he never did nothing for us. But when he was in there, you couldn't say nothing about Obama. And I'm not saying that Trump will not bring a certain level of attention to this community, but I'm also, some people have given me some other perspective. That doesn't mean that when Kamala gets in there, there's not going to be some tension in this country. Either way, they say it's going to be some tension. But at the reality, at this point, I am not. Look, I cannot close my eyes and act like Democrats ain't hurting people that look closer to me around this world. I can't act like. I can't act like the Clintons didn't go in Haiti and exploit them. I can't act like all this stuff. And I'm not talking about some policies. Like, for example, I can imagine how Kamala can make a mistake and maybe have one view on a policy this time and maybe change it up maybe 3 years later, but not on every day going every conversation that she got, and even I'll be honest with you, I was giving her leniency when I heard her say, I would never say I was going to do something for black people, because she said all this stuff before that. I was giving her leniency. But at this point, she's playing in our faces. I like how people say that. She's playing in our faces. I'm sorry. I am sorry. Kamala's playing in our faces. And guess what?
She playing. She right. I agree. Yup. Listen.
You say she not playing in our faces?
I'm listening. Oh, she's doing it. Listen. I said they all do it, but she is too. And what I want us to understand is the only way to invoke change is to do something different. We got to look past these two parties and look at other things. And I'm not saying that these are quality outside other candidates, but what do we have in front of us? And usually what's being paraded in front of you is usually the worst.
And you know what I'm feeling, Queen? I'm sorry, I didn't even hear what you said. But
Go ahead,
Queen,
bro.
you know what I heard, what I'm feeling. I'm not gonna lie. I am feeling the need to speak more about third party Democrat because I feel like there's an energy, and if it's not this time, we need to really talk about it, and we really need to put our energies behind it, regardless. Like we need to put our energies behind it. We need to put our energies behind third party politics.
I agree. And Black folks, listen, we change things. We have to change this thing that they set up. This electoral college is trash. And this two-party system is super trash. And we have people that no matter what, they all do the same thing. Murder, maim, take, whatever malicious is happening in Democrats and Republicans. So we got to be careful about what you like.
Tell JT Facts come up in here.
JT
Facts, come on. Come on, JT.
Me, bro. Hey, JT.
Brooklyn Kamala Harris. All right. Hey, JT, sit down. What's up, JT? I knew he was coming for this one. Come on, JT. I'm pissed off. Let's go.
Peace, JT. Thanks for coming through.
I'm pissed off, JT. Look, JT, you might catch one on this one. I'm sorry. I apologize. on the front end.
Let the man talk. What's up, JT?
Oh, JT, you gotta take the mute off.
You're muted.
You muted, JT. Maybe we need to keep you muted because I don't know what you're talking about.
You hear me now?
Yes, sir. Go ahead. Let's lay this Kamala laid on.
What's up, sis? I'm so glad to finally meet you. I was listening to you yesterday on Black Box Radio about the cannabis.
We all gonna need some cannabis.
Yeah, we gonna all need some.
Even though I don't partake myself, I still want to support you. All right,
but there's so many other ways to partake.
Let's get to it, JT.
Okay, shout out to Monica. Monica, I got your back. So let's get to it, dude. You're not the only one that's pissed. I can't believe I'm hearing what I'm hearing.
I'm pissed.
I love it. Let's go.
What are you hearing?
Got the floor, bro.
I'm hearing.
You should know.
You're going against Kamala, and you ain't even do your research, and you the research dude.
Well,
what are you talking about?
I don't need to.
I don't talk about statistics. Yet you're not even doing the research on Kamala, with her policies, what type of person she is, what
is she? What type of person is she? Come on, let's talk about that.
Okay, so you know what? I'm glad.
Let's talk about that. That's my lane. I will talk about what type of person she is.
I'm glad you said that. All right, so I break down people as basically good and bad. She's a good person. And how do I define good? A person that's willing to help someone else without any ulterior motivation to do it, just out of the kindness of their heart. Kamala Harris does that.
How you know that? How do you know that, JT? Where do you get that from?
Dude, just look at her past.
Look at her what? What?
You asking me a question? Are you asking me because you don't know? Or are you asking me?
Answer the question. Look,
curious.
I'm curious.
Okay, so you're curious. Okay, so then let's look at policies, then, dude. Let's look at policies. Hold on 1 second.
I don't. Look,
okay,
JT,
so okay.
JT. Let's get this square.
Okay.
I do not think policies.
Huh?
That's not.
Okay.
That's
okay.
Let's policies. Hold on. Let me finish this. Let me finish this. Policies will never be able to prove to me who is a good person. I'm not saying she's not.
Okay.
But what I am saying is that will not show me that this person is not. This person won't be bombing and supporting things that will continue genocide all across this world.
Okay, let's. I want to quickly address what you just said, Dennis.
I'm
getting like a delayed sound, so that's why I stopped and then I'm listening. Okay. So I want to preface this by saying that, and I know this is going to sound crazy, but one of my good friends is Palestinian, and I've talked a great deal about Palestinian issues, right? But I have to be blunt with you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not Palestinian, and I care about Black people in America more than anything else. All right? So, to tell you the truth, I have to be honest with you. Palestinian issues is low on my totem pole on things that I care about.
I said across the world, though. I wasn't even talking about.
I know I'm talking about all across the world. I'm talking about
Africans in Africa. I'm talking about black people. Say it again. I'm talking about black people. America. I'm talking about black people in America too.
Okay.
Because everything impacts everything.
Let's be clear. We're talking about black people in America. Palestinian issues is a Palestinian problem. Okay.
So I think that's where we disagree.
Okay, we can disagree. I still care about black people, you, Queen, and everybody else that's listening, Monica and the crew. I care about them much more than Palestinians.
Where's the money? Where's this money coming from? Where's this money coming from? Mr. Facts. Mr. Facts. Where is the money coming from to support this Palestinian war? When my damn city I live in, Baltimore, they can't fund shit. But they can fund a war
money and the gun
across seas while they have enough. They can fund all that, but not give black people reparations.
Okay.
You better know it.
So
I get what you're saying.
Let's talk about Africa. Sudan.
I get what but he said I get what he's saying. His concern is black people in America. I get it. But what I'm saying is everything that happens impacts us directly or indirectly. If you're not looking at that, you're not looking at the facts, Mr. JT Facts.
Okay.
Now, guess what, Queen? This is my main man right here. And I knew he was going to come on because I know he's thinking hard.
This is my guy right here.
Let me hear his whole point because I want to hear because he loves Kamala. So I want to hear. Let's hear your whole point, Brother JT. Let's hear it.
Okay. So my whole point is, I believe a lot of times when we talk about foreign countries and things that's happening to them, that's a distraction to distract us from what's happening with us, Black Americans. Okay, and that's why I don't really pay that much attention to anything that's happening in Ukraine and Palestinian. Queen, I heard you talk about Libya when Obama was in office. I felt bad, but to tell you the truth, I'm really concerned about Black Americans.
But they're taking money though, JT. Even if to the economic level, even just on the economic level, detach yourself.
Yeah. And Gaddafi was concerned about Black Americans.
Just detach ourselves from.
No. You want to talk about money? Then let's discuss money. Okay, so I guess. 1 second. Is there a way I can get rid of this echo?
What are you hearing? I'm sorry. You know what?
I hear myself, but I hear myself maybe 5 seconds later.
If Queen moves back. Queen, Queen ain't on mute. Tell me if it's still happening, and then I'll put my mic on mute.
Yes, it's still happening.
Did you say something?
I just said yes, it's still happening. Okay. Yeah. All right, we can continue. I'll deal with that. So I did a little research on Baltimore, the mayor's office, and I happened to see all the job programs, all the homeowners programs. There's money. We have so much money in this country that we have enough money to help the foreign countries and to help domestic issues. So you keep on harping on, the money's coming for us to fund these things. We have enough money to fund those things and to help us in this country.
So why is it not happening?
What do you mean it's not happening? Have you looked at the Baltimore?
I ain't looking at, bro. I ain't gotta look at numbers when I can walk outside. I don't have to look at fake numbers when I can walk outside.
We live in Baltimore. That money ain't trickling down to our people, bro.
So Dennis, those
politicians not trickling down to our people.
I do not see again the thing. Okay, let me tell you something. Baltimore has so much going on, brother JT. You know how much stuff Baltimore has going on. You know how many people got they're part of the non-for-profit industrial complex, bro. You can come to Baltimore and get all types of stuff. Ain't no lie. It's kind of like you come to Baltimore and get all types of different types of things, but it ain't changing the situation. And and it's not about the money and what they're doing. I'm just saying the way that the system is structured at this point is not going to work. And so hence anybody, and you're right, Kamala could be a good-hearted person. You know, I can't say she's not. You know, look, I'm scared that you can say it with so much certainty, but nonetheless, she could be, right? I mean, but what I am saying is that anybody who maintains this status quo, we need to do something different, bro. It's not working. It's not working. If you think it's working, I mean, like, where's it working at, bro? I'm talking about you. You're a financial guy. You about money. What we ain't. Look, you probably know Carter Anderson stuff. Although I think he's somewhat a little sloppy. But but at the end of the day, he would even point out that it ain't working. We know this system. Dr. Amos Wilson, one of your favorites, know it's not working. And look, bro, JT, I know your peoples. They will say bullshit. I mean, I get it.
JT, I'm down south, and Black people are disenfranchised, just as the North. I mean, it's unfortunate in the South where you think is land and honey. You got all Black people in one space, and they are living it, and they're living like hood rats. Same thing we see in every city. So you might can go and see what Baltimore has, and you can come and look at the economy of Charleston, South Carolina. Amazing, but it's not trickling down to the community. Our
Ain't no game on
suffering. We're suffering. You understand what I'm saying? What you see as policy wise is not manifesting greatness for Black people. And not only that, we see that if you could pay for another war, that doesn't mean that we're being taken care of over here. Where's the reparations? Our children are dying in the streets. Look at the school system. They didn't change the school system since 1941. We got things to talk about.
I have to take note because you guys are talking about so many things. It's hard for me
because you said that we could do a war and then then we can also take care over here. That's not true. We are doing wars and we're taking care of certain people over here.
I mean, I'm not, and I wouldn't even say he's wrong because but they're not doing it. Let's say that. But let's say that it's not happening. It's not under the system. It's not about the money. So I know it all can happen. I do. But the problem I have with even the way that you framed that, JT, is if we can do help over there, look. Thank you, brother. Thank you. You look really nice and charming over there. But look, the problem I have is as if we're speaking of it and framing it in the way as if they're taking care of domestic issues in a humane way. They're not. Okay, so they're not helping outside foreign policy. They're causing havoc and hell all across this world, especially when people get closer to looking like us. And the people who look like us are also being impacted outside of this country and in this country. That it doesn't matter. Well, yeah, we might feel a little bit more comfortable. We might have a few more we might have better some things that might help us feel more comfortable. But overall, it does not change the condition of our community. It doesn't change the conditions of us financially. It doesn't change the conditions of us mentally. It doesn't change the conditions of us on so many levels because the system itself is the problem.
Okay. Okay, so
JT, I gotta say,
I have three
things
to talk about quickly. One is, let's not talk about Kamala's policies. I'm going back to something you said earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about, you are a psychologist, correct? Psychiatrist.
I'm scared of him. I'm a mental health professional, yes.
Okay. So isn't one of the best predictors of a person's behavior past behavior?
No. No, let me think about that. Let me think about that. The market. Let's think about the market. Let's think about the market. Let's think about the market because we're talking about institutions, right? We ain't talking about people. I'm
talking about Kamala Harris. I'm talking about.
I told you she could be a good person. I don't know.
No. So look,
but she's working for an institution, JT.
What I'm saying is, past behavior shows that she's a good person, not policy.
Well, I don't know Kamala's behaviors. I don't know what she does. I don't know her behaviors. I don't know your behaviors. I don't know what you do outside this camera. I know you smart. I know you intellectual. I know.
Look up her behavior.
What is her behaviors? Okay. Give me an example. I'm gonna show you her behaviors. What I don't like. Okay, let's talk about behaviors. You want to know behaviors I saw that I don't like?
Now, hold on. Before you give me behavior, Dennis, can you talk about behavior in the United States? I'm not really concerned that much about foreign countries. United States.
Oh yeah, let's talk about behaviors.
Let's go.
Kamala doesn't stand on shit. Excuse my language. She flip-flops like so. In other words, she will say one thing, and I'm not saying because I don't do no Republican misogynistic party talking points. But what I am saying is Kamala speaks out of both sides of her mouth really well. I understand that's a part of politics, but as a behavior, that does not help me as a person, as a psychotherapist who trust her, because at some point it seems as if she's hot. She will acquiesce or mold to the highest bidder.
Can I respond to that?
Absolutely.
Can I respond to that?
Yes.
Okay. Queen, I mean, if you want to jump in, that's fine. But okay. So, Dennis, have you ever held a position where when you receive new information, you change your position?
That's not what's happening.
Supposed to stick to
that's not what's happening.
If you got new information,
that's not what I described. That's not what I described. I get what you're saying. I agree to that. I even said that earlier. I said I am not. Let me tell you. Let me explain. No. He finished his point.
Okay.
Yeah, he did finish. He did. He's saying the same thing again.
Okay.
Let me handle this. Doc in the box on black box. Look, like this. What you do? This what you do? Yes, doc in the box on black box, right? So what I'm saying is, look, JT, he's a veteran at this. Look, JT go all the way back before when we was on, what is it called? Before we had video. So what I'm saying is this. He's from New York. He can handle all this back and forth. What are you talking about? You see that man got frames in the background. He got piles of cabinets and all types of stuff. You know he's smart. Like, he got Malcolm in the back. Ain't acting like Malcolm or King or Ali. He acting like I don't know what my man JT doing. But I know I get what you said. But JT loves our people. So what I'm saying is, I get what you're saying, brother JT. But earlier, I'm not sure if you were here, I was saying, I am not saying that Kamala did not. I'm not saying that a person can't make a decision and then maybe 2 or 3 years later say, you know what, I made a bad decision. Let me move this way. People do that, and we can do that, and we do that all the time. What I am saying, Kamala speaks in 2 ways in the same paragraph I've been talking about all day. She will say one thing. She plays, what is it, like a sleight of the hands type of thing. She does things. The way that she speaks is untrustworthy. And I'm saying just behaviorally. I'm saying is one, if she sat in my chair, you see it, look, back there. If she sat in my chair, I would have to challenge her on her saying 2 things that that's conflicting. And she says things that are conflicting all the time.
Okay, Dennis, I got to challenge you. You got to give me a specific example of what you're talking about.
Okay.
Because what I've heard other people say is back in 2018, she had one position, and 6 years later, she has another position. So give me a specific example of what you're talking about.
Okay, I'll give you various examples. One example is she never answers. I'm not going to say never, but many times she dodges questions. She will not answer the question. And sometimes she gets to the point to say, I'm not going to answer that question. On the very interview where she speaks about where I was getting her the benefit of the doubt for saying she's good. She slides, sleight of hand. She says, well, I did this for the Black community. And I did that for the Black community. And I did this for the Black community. When the person asks her what she's going to do for the Black community. And then she ends up saying, well, and then the person tries to pin her down. And she said, I'm not, what you want me to say? I'm just not going to, I say I was going to do something specific for the black community, but the thing is, that's just an example, and I think that clip sometimes is used out of context. But another thing I will say is, when you listen to her policies, I am so tired of hearing her story. When somebody asks her a question, yeah, you know, I was born in a middle class family, and then I did this, and my mama was da-da-da. And then the next thing you know, what she does is she never answers questions directly. 1, 2. When she talks up, let's go back. You said not to go to.
Well, Dennis, that's not an example of flip flopping. I'm just letting you know.
Well, I'm gonna give you an example, but I'm giving you the flip flop. I'm giving the flip flop. She flip flop on Palestine. Can I talk about Palestine?
Go ahead.
She flip flop on Palestine. If you see her
on America, but that's okay. Go ahead.
Okay, she flip she flip flop on Palestine. Now, I don't have all these things in my mind, but I know for sure in the same she does two things. One time she spoke about how she strongly for Palestinians to some degree, and then another time she's switched that up just a little bit. She switched that up, and it's not years apart. Where now she's saying, and she's very strong because somebody must have told her, you got to stand up for Israel is a little stronger. So now she's saying, I agree for the right for Israel as a state to exist. And then she goes and then she starts to try to soften that. And now she starts to say something positive about Palestinians. Now, what I'm saying is not that is not exactly a flip flop, but she's talking double. She's saying two things out of her mouth. She's trying to appease everybody and not stand on nothing.
Well, Dennis, listen, she's trying to run for office and trying to get elected as president. A lot of times you can't be stuck on a position.
Giving you the example of why I don't trust her.
And in regards to the Palestinian issue, let me tell you from the personal conversations I've had with my Palestinian friend, and I've known him and we've worked together closely for years. A lot of people just do not like Palestine. I'm not talking about Americans. I'm talking about other countries don't support Palestine. Other Muslim countries don't support Palestine, and they know it. Okay?
Well, I mean, half the world don't support Israel, though, bro. Come on, like most Americans don't even support Israel. But guess what? In this so-called democracy, no. I'm talking about Israel in this country. The polls are showing something that most Americans think that. Go ahead.
Prior to the Palestinian, this latest Palestinian.
Well, we talking about now. But at the same time, we say this is a democracy, and the democracy's points of views don't matter because Biden gets to choose about who he supports, whereas most of the country does not support it statistically. But we still going to support. We're going to still continue to bomb Palestine. I'm not saying Palestinians or they haven't had. I'm not. Look. What I am saying is, I'm not saying that people won't like people and all this. But guess what? Most people in the world don't like black people in America. Most people think we heathens. Most people think we are buffoons. Most people think that we are ignoramuses. Most people think we are lazy, phlegmatic. And guess who taught us that? White supremacy culture. So I ain't going with that. That ain't strong enough. You got to come again. But what I'm saying is, I love you, brother. But that ain't working because the popularity contest doesn't mean a thing.
Most people in the world don't like black people.
Well, I have more to say, but proper perspective if you want to jump in.
What he need to turn his speakers down. Look, that's my cousin, JT. You know, he's a troublemaker like you.
You gotta mute your mic.
He coming to beat me up. I'm scared. These are heavyweights right here, Queen. These are heavyweights coming here. Look, look. So the research I'm talking about. Let me tell you the research I'm talking about. JT Facts. It's not about policies. I've looked at enough of. I'm researching behaviors. I'm researching history. So what historically. I don't have to know every policy of Kamala in the Democratic Party, nor the Republican Party know they BS. I don't have to eat a whole cow to know they BS. I know patterns in the Democratic. I'm talking about on a national level. I ain't saying your boys ain't doing something in Brooklyn. I ain't saying my main man ain't doing something in Baltimore. But what I am saying is those in the top position for the most part, when you look at the patterns, and historically, they have not done things to really help us get help Black people in America to move to let me see. I'm trying to say the word in a way that's clear. They have not helped liberate Black people.
All right. I want to go to. I've been dying to get this point out for a long time. Queen touched on it earlier tonight. It seems like Black folks want direct help, but it's very difficult in our society to say you're directly helping us. You can indirectly help us without saying it. Okay, like Queen said, the child tax credit that they want to do, that will help Black people. You don't have to say it's the Black child tax credit for it to help us. Okay, so it will help us even if it's not saying it's the Black child tax credit. The thing with the medication with the insulin, who doesn't know? If you're a Black person in America, everybody knows somebody that has diabetes. We all know somebody who had diabetes. That's a Black program. It's
that
not
doesn't
called the Black insulin program, but it's a Black program. You don't have to say it's a Black program.
I get it.
Okay.
I get
Literally, Obamacare was a Black program.
I get it.
Say Black Obamacare, but who's Obamacare helping?
It doesn't change the conditions. It does not change the conditions of our people.
20 million
it does not. No. I am talking about.
You know what it
JT,
is? I think you guys, your expectations is a little bit too much. Change doesn't happen with a snap of your fingers. Change happens.
Well, guess what? But guess what, JT? We need those people over here that you calling you guys. You know, you trumping now. You guys, you trumping. Hold up. Where Trump from? Brooklyn? Where he from? Queens? Where he from? Where Trump from? Brooklyn? Y'all talking like you guys, you all, you Negroes, you alls. But look, no. What I'm saying, but I get what you're saying but JT, the best political scholars that you read will call BS on what you just said. And when I say political, I ain't talking about this politics. I ain't talking about the duopoly. But what I am saying is, say it again. You sound like Trump. Say it again. I think you guys want too much. Like what? Are you? Did you switch? You need to go put the MAGA hat on now. I mean, Kamala wouldn't even say that. Kamala wouldn't even say that. What are you talking about? We asking for too much. Are you for reparations? Are you for reparations? Say it again.
I think that there's different groups within the Black community, even though we all can still be together. I'm just saying that certain Black people will not see a program as helping us unless you have the term Black in front of it.
No,
those people, and there's other people who understand.
I'm not even talking about that.
Program can help you, even though it doesn't say Black in front.
And let me be clear. I don't care if it has Black in front of it. Those programs ain't gonna help us to change our position in this society. Something else has to happen. You understand? You can put black.
What would be your ultimate solution? Like how would you envision the best outcome for Black people? What would that be? Because I think your expectations are a little bit too high.
No, it's not.
Change doesn't come quickly like that.
I'm gonna let guess what? I'm gonna let Big Cuz.
1960s? Are we the same as we was in the crap hour of 1980s?
We actually we're not. In some cases, we're worse.
We're not worse, dude.
In some cases, hey, bro, what are you talking about? Our families. Let's go. Absolutely.
In which we're worse than we were.
All right, stop right there. Absolutely, our families are in more shambles than where we were in the 1960s. Let's go. What's next? Bro, I do my research. Hey, I do my research. I don't have to research Kamala's points to understand about social conditions. I research social conditions.
Let's talk about social conditioning. That's debatable.
It's not that debatable. It's not that debatable.
Versus family.
I got stats on our families, bro.
You would rather have family togetherness than,
hold on.
Let's say, for example,
say it again. Say it again, JT. Facts. Say it again, JT. JT, say it again. JT, say it again. We couldn't hear you.
I'm sorry, bro. What I said is, okay, what I'm saying is this. You're saying our families were more together back then, correct?
I'm saying the statistics that you're telling me to cite a thing, I'm citing statistics. Yes.
Okay. So I would say to you, yes, perhaps we had more family togetherness, but we had so many other things that was against us. Then the family togetherness point that you made is very small compared.
We didn't have an opioid. Let me give you another one. We didn't have these drug problems. We haven't had these opioid problems. We haven't had these cities where they look like Baltimore, where they have these vacancy problems. I'm not saying that things weren't. I'm saying, now keep in mind what I'm saying. I am saying, to quote what I said earlier, that some things seemingly have improved while others have devolved.
I can see
huh?
That. I can see that. You're right.
Yes. Let's go with proper.
Okay. Can y'all hear me?
Bless him. Yes.
Okay. Peace. Okay. So the thing he's talking about right now about us being better off today. He said, tell me one thing. I'm like, Black generational wealth is another one. You already said one, but Black generational wealth is another one where all the research has been done. And they say 100 years ago, Black families on a whole had a hell of a lot more money, more generational wealth 100 years ago than they do today. And today it's like we are at 1/10 the wealth of a typical white family. So that's a second one where there's no way you can say we're better off today. I'm not saying that there's nothing that is better today, but there are clearly things that are very much worse off today. And so the idea of just saying, you want too much, you're expecting change too fast, that's played out. That's way beyond what's going on now. Wanting reparations is not wanting too much too soon. We were owed reparations 400 years ago. We were owed reparations 200 years ago. So to say, well, you're asking for too much, that's what they said when we were in chains and we wanted chains off. You're asking for too much. So
I'm not saying we're asking for too much. Maybe if I said that I spoke incorrectly. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that it seems like Dennis was asking for change right now quickly versus a gradual process of change. That's what I'm saying. It's not that I'm saying we asking too much. I'm saying that change doesn't happen quickly. It's a gradual process, and eventually it happens at the end. That's what I'm saying. Okay. So, and if you want to have the reparations debate, maybe we need to have another show because I got some thoughts on that too. But all I'm saying is, like, you talk about how we were doing better back then in terms of percentages, but the amount of money that Black people have right now is much more than what we had back then. If you look at the growth, if you look at the growth, I'm not talking about
with inflation. With inflation included. Are you talking about with inflation?
I'm talking about the gross number of money.
But you have to account for inflation. You have to account for inflation. You have to account for inflation.
Hey, let's count for inflation. I mean,
I don't know the number, but I know the statistic. I know the fact that fact is that with inflation, we're nowhere near what we used to be. In fact, home ownership.
Gross amount, not the percentage.
We ain't talking about growth. Look, gross don't mean nothing. That's like going to Jamaica tomorrow. Let me give you an example. That's like going to Jamaica and now you become a millionaire because you got US dollars, and now you realize $1 million in Jamaica ain't nothing. So that's an analogy. The other thing is I never asked for. And I'm gonna turn it back over to Proper. I never asked for a quick change. I just asked for methodology or objectives that can get us to change. I know change is a progressive process or a protracted process. Proper.
Right, like the idea of even requesting and asking and fighting for reparations. The change, we're still in that process. So the idea of asking for too much or asking for too soon, like right now, the question is, which party could we even possibly move the needle on that issue? So if it's correct that we can't expect to get it tomorrow or to get it the day after the election, cool. But which party can we expect to have a reasonable conversation about reparations? You can't expect it from the Republicans, and you can't expect it from the Democrats, because both of them have said no in one way or another. The Republicans have said absolutely not. It's a non-starter. I don't want to hear it. Get out my office if that's what you want to talk to me about. The Democrats have said, come on in. We'll talk to you. No. Goodbye. So neither party is doing anything. The third parties are the only ones that's saying, here it is. It's in the platform. We are going to campaign about it. Every time they get in front of a microphone, every time they get on social media or a television station, they say, we believe in reparations. African Americans have owed it. They deserve it. They should get it. If you put us in office, we're going to work to get it.
Okay, Proper. I hate to correct you, brother, but I will. Haven't there been some movement on reparations already around the country? And what happened? It's been no. Hold on. No.
California made this big stink.
There's been some movement.
They made the big stink, and then they voted everything down.
This big stink of building it up, and then said
and voted it down.
There have been a couple of cities that have said we're going to start some reparations programs in our city. And that's cool for those cities, but that is not the reparations movement, because the reparations movement is supposed to come from the absolute top. It's not supposed to come from this city and that city. That's the same thing as states' rights that Trump be trying to pull on people. Reparations is a full-scale federal government activity. Otherwise, that's just like if I can send $100 to some citizen in Ukraine and say, I helped fight the war. No, I didn't. That ain't nothing.
Robert, didn't you just hold on? You started this reparations talk saying that neither the Democrats nor the Republicans are even willing to have the conversation. I'm looking at an article right now that says California is the first state to tackle reparations for Black residents. Isn't that a Democratic administration in California?
What you're missing is the full breadth of what I said was they started a conversation, and when it came to vote, they voted it down. And
the Democratic Party.
That was the Democratic Party. And what I'm saying is, literally, the Republicans say, get out the office. We're not having a conversation. What the Democrats say is, come on into the office. We can talk. And at the end of the conversation, the Democrats say, no, goodbye. So just because you have a conversation, if you're open-minded enough to say we can talk, but you're closed-minded enough to say I'm not going to give it to you, that's a non-starter. That's not reality. That's not effective.
So Proper, just because they voted it no, does that mean now you have to give up? Now, if it was the Republicans, the Republicans will always say no. The difference between the Democrats and the Republicans is that the Democrats are persuadable. Even if they say no now, you may be.
But how is it persuadable, JT? Persuadable doesn't mean
never be able to be persuaded for reparations, and that's
persuadable is not saying I'm gonna do something. But when you say persuadable, it has to have some teeth to it. Persuadable is not saying, okay, that sounds good, it looks good, let's talk about it, and then never do anything. Persuadable is What are we going to do right now to get it done? And they're not there. You're giving these folks a lot of love, and they are shitting on your community, bro.
Okay,
so literally.
If you put the thing down, if you put it on persuadable, if we're supposed to have this evaluation based on who is persuadable. The third party, Cornel West Party, is persuadable. The Socialist Party is persuadable. The Green Party is persuadable.
Why are you even talking about
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they.
And they will
it
never
doesn't matter.
Who doesn't have any support?
The third party, he's talking about Cornel West.
They got listen. These third parties gonna have some support, brother.
All three of the major.
They never will.
But
all three of the major third parties are on the ballot in. I believe the last time I looked, Cornel West is on the ballot in almost 40 of the 50 states. Jill Stein is, I can't remember the numbers, but the third parties are on the ballots either completely 100% or they're on the ballot enough to be a write-in in almost all of the states. Now, I'm not saying that they have the numbers to effectively win the election. But what I'm saying is if you do not start to vote for people who promise that I absolutely have your interest at heart, and you continue to vote for people that say, I might let you come talk, then all you're going to get is a possible conversation.
Ain't proper. Let me bust in here real quick. Hold on. Let me bust in here real quick. And guess who called me out? Hold up. Guess who called me out for one instant? Guess who called me out for wanting change right now? And this, what my man JT Fax is doing is saying that he wants change right now because that's why he's voting for the Democratic Party, because he knows that the other party has no opportunity to win. And Papa is saying it's a protracted struggle. So let's continue to fight in that direction because I understand it's a protracted struggle and it's not an instant gratification that you want to keep getting from the Democratic Party. So who is the one on here talking about they looking for instant gratification or immediate change because we don't want to fight for it? We understand that the Green is not going to win right now, but we understand that due to their diligence that they're getting closer. So jump on board.
Okay, can I respond?
Dog balling now, bro. Okay, but you got to look at that, JT. Is the only way to change, but the only way to invoke change, JT. The only way to invoke change is we have to do something different. You can't keep saying that they're not going to win. Yes, they're not going to win because listen, the money's not being put in their parties the way it's put in the two that's being presented to us. But we have to understand that if you want change, you have to then make change. So you have to look at this like we have to. The only way for those parties to get to the ballot box and for them to get some type of currency in American politics, it's going to start first, I think, with Black people. We have to look at what's been done to us in the history of these two parties and look at something different. This best of both evils and just dealing with what's in front of us. These people are not doing anything for our community, and we got to look at it, brother. We have to.
So can I respond? Can I respond to you?
Respond.
So let's go back in history and let's look at the Civil Rights Act of 1968, whenever it passed. That wasn't something that started in 1968, and that was the Democrats, people. That was something that took years to form in, and then finally the Democrats got enough votes. The people who agreed to that policy got enough votes to pass it, and that's what I'm talking about. Persuadable, okay? It's not something that you want to go to a party that has literally no. I'm talking about third party that literally has almost zero support. Like what? I have to wait until my grandchildren
absolutely
vote for the Green Party to even do something.
Absolutely.
All I'm saying is the Democrats are here right now.
1968.
If you can't convince them right now,
Martin Luther King had to die. Martin Luther King had to die. Martin Luther King had to die. Martin Luther King had to die.
And Malcolm.
To be a major event, and we understand that these parties to continue to be in place when that next major event, and it look like it might be coming soon. It looked like it might be coming soon because I do agree with what people are saying now. I said, man, I can't wait till this thing is over. And they said ain't gonna be no over. If Trump get in there, it's gonna be some mess. And if Kamala get in there, there's gonna be some mess. Because these white boys,
no mess with Kamala's in there.
No. It ain't got nothing to do.
They're not equivalent. You got a crazy.
You're not listen. Let me finish. I'm not saying Kamala is equivalent to a Trump, but what I am saying is these white boys hate black people and black women even more enough to do something. So it's going to be some mess. Just like when Obama got in there, bro. We go way back. When Obama got in there, it was some mess. It was a lot of mess. I'm not saying the equivalent. I'm just saying Kamala's a little bit more convincing.
Hey, Dennis, you remember when I called into your show and tried to defend Hillary? And you and the crew, it wasn't you. Your crew was trying to talk bad about her. Let me tell you something. I bet you they think different now. Because
I don't think they
Trump
do.
is a whole different animal.
But Trump,
way back then.
Look, I'm gonna tell you one thing about Trump. Trump, at least I had entertainment from the politicians, because when Biden came up in this joint, man, things got dry. But no,
Hillary Clinton.
At least I knew we was gonna have a conversation about Trump every day.
Hillary Clinton a trophy. She's just as bad as Trump.
Yeah, she is. Look, I ain't gonna lie. I was like, dang, when Trump was in the White House, at least I could know that we gonna talk about Trump today. And look, Trump has made so much noise. Look, more black people are looking at politics more than they ever did because of Trump. Obama was the first side of the pendulum, and then Trump came on in the other side. And guess what? Black people, they looking at some things now more than they did in the past because of that pendulum swing. And guess what? When Trump was in the White House, we was talking more about oppression than what he truly was even doing. Like literally, we was just afraid. We were talking about the fear of what Trump would do. I'm not saying Trump wasn't reckless. He was. And Trump is reckless. Let's keep that a buck. But at the end of the day, the Democrats are not any less reckless.
They just hide it better.
I would strongly disagree with that. They are nowhere near as reckless as the Republican Party. You have a Republican saying he wants slavery back. Tell me a Democrat that's saying that, Dennis.
A Democrat that's saying what?
You got
okay, what's hold on. Tell me
stop any type of black history discussion.
Look, Republicans. No. Republicans will. I don't know who you're talking about, but okay, let's go here. But JT facts. We've been talking about this the whole show as if you're not picking it up. That Democrats, as Malcolm said, are more like foxes, and Republicans are more like wolves. Right. So if you understand that, look, take that Malcolm picture off the wall. Take it off. Take it off now. Stop it. What are you doing?
With some things Malcolm says, but I don't agree with everything.
But you don't believe the fox. You don't believe the fox is grinning. You don't believe the fox is grinning. Hold on, was it Malcolm or was it Stokely Carmichael? But nonetheless, one of his brilliant brothers. Say it again, brother. Proper.
Yeah. Malcolm said that.
Malcolm, right? So what the point we're making is, and you're well astute and well educated to know that neither one of these parties, that these parties support the. You think the Democratic Party is the party against the status quo? Really?
I think the Democrats are capable of being influenced to the right direction. I don't think the Republicans are able. I don't think you can talk to the Republicans and able to influence them to do anything that would be right for the country.
I think that's easier. I think that's easy. That's a task, right? Because I know brothers here who are doing some serious work with pulling Democrats further to the left, as what you're articulating here. They're doing some good work, but it's not many of them that's going left. Because guys, man, look, I teach, and me teaching different types of groups of people, it lets me see how lost we truly are. Most of us drink this punch. I know you don't drink the punch. I know you know all this stuff. I know that you're well-intentioned, but most of our people are not JT Facts who can. If our people was like JT Facts and they were in the Democratic Party like JT Facts, and we had a lot of people who could think like JT Facts, I would agree with that. But most of our people will not move. There's going to have to be a damn catastrophe, a damn something in order to make us move. I'm not saying I want that catastrophe, but what I am saying is events give enough steam to help people do some things. You know what I mean? And I'm saying that we are not moving to further to the left because I don't want to lose my trinkets. I didn't earn my degree. I don't want to lose my government contracts. I don't want to, like, I was on a whole call with a lady just talking about, and that's what I'm saying. The Democratic White Feminist Party, what I'm calling it, there's literally, I mean, like, I'm not trying to come back with this whole abortion thing, but we got to have a deeper conversation about it and all these different things that black people don't even agree with wholeheartedly the same way. I'm not saying they don't think there's room for this, but there has to be nuance, and these conversations aren't about us and our political values and views. These are more about white women.
But Dennis, that's the difference between the Democratic and the Republican Party. You can have differences in the Democratic Party. I don't believe in everything.
No values,
but no value. But white feminists agree with. I don't agree with everything. But
they're the ones that rule it. The thought is pervasive, though. That is the pervasive thought. The white feminists, when I hear federal level stuff, is whatever feminists approve of. If feminist liberals approve of it, that is what we run on.
I disagree with you, and I can be specific. For example, the whole trans women in sports issue. All right, a lot of Democrats don't agree with it. A lot of Democrats do agree with it. So we still could talk about it, but that's not no one policy. Where
let's unpack that.
Once a Republican says something and it comes down from the top, that's it.
What is the feminist belief in that? What is the feminist belief in that? Tell me what the feminist belief in. Let's unpack it.
These are the trans women are women too. And they should be able to participate in sports just like biological women. There's a lot of Democrats.
No, I think the feminist view is. I think the feminist views are across the spectrum. When that particular point, I think.
Yeah, you say across the spectrum. That's because the Democrats, we don't agree. That's why it's across the spectrum. But that's the beauty of the Democratic Party.
No. What I'm saying is, but the feminists don't support that enough to make it a point. This is just hypothetical for me. I would have to look at the data, and I don't think you have the data either. So what I'm saying is, what the feminists do support, that is what the party's going to run on. Let me tell you, whatever feminists do, even in academia, whatever feminists say you can say. That's how even academia works. Like, if you speak against feminists, like, and I'm not saying feminists have some good things, but they have hijacked a lot of our African-centered, black talking points and movements and all those type of things. We know that it's even in the books. It's written. It's historical that these feminist white women literally fight for white women first, and they want black women and black people to come in and support them. But when you start talking about black people issues, feminists turn red. They turn red. They become fragile, and then they start pointing the finger. Look, some people tell me don't do DEI stuff. Look, I didn't do it. Anecdotally, experientially, I've seen these white feminist women. I work with them. I've taught them and everything. And I used to be a lot more optimistic until I realized how much trauma they have, as a result of what this society has done to us. White women get all the passes in this society and act like they didn't own us and enslave us and make money off of us, and they get the bulk of the DEI stuff. They get jobs, they get contracts, and all that stuff, while we sit up there competing, and somehow didn't even will talk to me and say, I'm a white woman and you're a black man, so now we're both using intersectionality, so that you are we're both equally oppressed. Hell no. Look, tell Emmett Till that. Tell all the black people who went down to the South and looked at the white woman a certain way and how she lied and did this and did that. Although she might have been sleeping with some people, but who did she tell on it? How did she lie? And who did she say raped her?
Dennis, I mostly agree with you, but I think you overestimate the power of white feminists, especially in the political arena. I think in the business and educational fields, I agree with you, but in the political arena,
all that's political. You know why they're powerful in these political places? Because the political decisions are what allow them to get in these spaces. Without those political decisions, they would not be the majority in these positions because the political decisions make room for them to come in and co-opt positions that were intended for other people. So we can't disconnect them. Hey, JT, you got me looking like a political rock star out here. You got me looking like a political rock star. And you the political man.
Election political arena where you're elected.
Electorally, they run on policies.
As way as you're talking.
Hold up. Let me make sure. Let me give you. Hold up, JT. Back up, JT. Back up. Say it again because I want to give you a free chance so I can come back and slash it again. Go ahead.
Okay. I said in the elected political official arena, I think you overestimate the power of white feminists. I agree with you when you're talking about the business and educational fields. Yes, I agree 100%. But in the political arena, there's so many black elected officials now that they don't hold the power that you're talking about. That's all I'm saying.
Wrong again. Brother, what are you talking about? Who do they want? Who is the Democratic Party appeasing at this point to elect Kamala? Who are the black women calling out? And why were they calling them out? Because they know those white women, including the feminist ones. Feminists can go across both political parties, by the way. Most of them tend to go to the quote unquote left. But the thing is, they also a conservative feminists as well. But they have called and demanded that these white women come out, and white women need to show up this year. And that's the reason why Hillary wasn't elected, because these white women vote
for Trump.
Well, Dennis, was it white feminists who wanted Kamala to be vice president? Were they pushing for Kamala to be vice president? I don't think so, Dennis.
I would agree with you.
Was pushing Joe Biden to pick a black woman. Same as the pressure that he felt when he picked Ketanji. It's the same thing.
I can agree.
How much power they have.
Well, let me say white women now. Let me say white women, and I kind of put that in my framing that fight white feminists are on both sides, even right. But also I agree with you holistically. But what I am also saying, white feminist points politically show up in our classrooms, show up in our local politics, show up in our business law. It shows up because these are very feminist points that you could never these are the laws that Democrats pass. Feminists, I'm talking about Democrats. I'm talking about these are the laws they pass. Anything revolutionary, the most revolutionary you can get in politics is to the level of a white feminist. This is what I'm arguing. I ain't never heard nobody say it, but that is the most revolutionary you can get. Anything past a white feminism is not going to. It's going to be hell to get it to pass. White feminist stuff is popular. It's popular to talk about, and I'm not. And look, and I think body and all that type of thing. But white feminists are the ones who talk about these things. So we repeat things that they say. It's so popular. All you gotta do is just look at the policies. I don't have to research every policy to realize that everything is passed and what is acceptable in this country, that is the furthest left you're gonna go is to some of the white feminist points, because white women are acceptable to some degree. They're the biggest in white women. And we can't look, we always got to even include them in the conversation. Like, oh yeah, black men and black women and Latinos and yeah, white women too. And then we know that white women owned us. We know that white women gets things the Democrats pass, what white women want passed. We know that the things we fought for, they hijack in legislation and everything and in business, and you cannot disconnect business, medical, none of that from white women, white feminist women.
A lot of the policies, let's be specific, Dennis. a lot of the policies that's been passed by the Democrats haven't been just for white feminists. Let's look at
I didn't say just. I didn't say just. I didn't say just. I didn't say just.
Let's look at the Medicare.
They benefit from that. Yes, that's that. Yeah. White women benefit. I'm not saying it's not a halfway good thing, but what I'm saying is that they are the how do you say, the litmus test? They are the thing. So if white women approve of that, then it will be a policy that we will push forward. If white women don't approve of it, white women, feminists, do not approve for the most part of reparations. I'm talking about liberals. The left, like Jill Stein, she would approve of, or people like that would approve of it, but feminists have a problem with people like Jill Stein.
A subject like reparations will take time to convince people to come to our side on this.
We only been doing it for 1,000 years.
I believe
no. I am just saying standing up for it. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying how long it's going to take, but I'm telling you what is socially, what is appropriate to say on TV is only to the most revolutionary you can be in public is that which white feminists approve of. Follow me. That is the most revolutionary you can be. I'm not saying it's not beneficial to some degree, but it's only as beneficial as white women approve. I'm telling you this. That is the look. Whatever white women make popular, like let's think of all the words that white feminists and liberals say. Whatever white liberals say, whatever is popular, whatever type of catechisms that the new catechisms that they utilize. I mean the new I'm sorry, not catechism. Well, they're catechisms as well, but the new euphemisms that they utilize, that's what we can say. We know this. We can't say nothing more than what a white liberal would say. Whatever white liberals say, that is what is socially appropriate. Proper, what you got?
I mean, I agree with you almost 100% on that. I was gonna say it sounded like something that JT Facts was saying about reparations, trying to get everybody, to come on board. I'm just like, in this country today, the U.S. government sends billions of dollars to Israel. There's a ton of white people that don't agree with that. They still send that money. They send billions of dollars to the Ukraine. There's half of this country, half of the white people don't want that money gone. It still get gone. So this idea that we can't get reparations unless we get all of these white people on board, I don't buy that. The government does whatever is politically expedient based on the pressures that are applied to them. We don't apply the pressure for reparations. What we do is make excuses for why we can't get it. If we applied the pressure that is needed, and if we did especially if we pulled up on the international scene and operated the way Malcolm X was making attempts to operate to again increase the political global pressures on the government, then there would be an official sit down at the table and rendering of reparations, whether 50% of white people agreed or not, whether 25% of white people agreed or not, just like they send all that money everywhere else all over this world, and half of white people in this country that vote don't agree with it.
Okay, proper. You're talking about, and I encounter this a lot. You're talking about what needs to happen, but you're not really talking about how it needs to happen.
Okay.
Proper.
Okay.
How does pressure be applied? How is pressure applied?
Okay. How was Malcolm X planning to apply the pressure? How do we apply pressure on an incident of police brutality? How do we apply pressure on an incident of discrimination in a restaurant? The pressure is the same. We do the same things. We got to stop stopping the movement. And two, we have to, like for George Floyd, the George Floyd incident caused so much of an uproar that there were people in other countries, people in African countries that thought Black Americans got gravy over there, started waking up and saying, they started going in the streets of their own country saying, yo, y'all treating them people wrong. That's because of whatever mechanisms that were in place. Some of it was totally from within the Black community. Some of it came from outside agencies and outside forces that were allies, so on and so forth. But those are the pressures, the same pressures that we applied to get the civil rights legislation finally approved. You know, Martin Luther King didn't only, some of the things that he strategized and planned for was to increase national and international awareness so that the government is going to look real stupid. Malcolm X was working on ways and methods and mechanisms to get the UN to step in. So those are the things that if we continue to do them, we could get the reparations, or we could at least get the ball rolling with a way more momentum than what we've got now. We continue to stop and make excuses and to say, well, now ain't the time, and we got to get, rather than fight for reparations, let's just make sure that we put a Black man in office and we'll talk about it later. That's what we said for Obama. And so we're saying the same thing with Kamala. Let's not use that as the litmus test. Let's just get her in the office, and then we'll see if we can have a conversation.
Excuse me, Papa. I want to answer my own question. And you said it a long way, but I'm going to really shorten it. You do this how? Because my original question to you was how you do this. How do you apply pressure? And you apply pressure by gathering support. Okay, and the way you gather support takes time, and that's what I'm talking about when I talk about reparations taking time. You got to get more support. The reason why reparations is not passing is not because all these people don't believe in reparations. The reason why reparations is not passing is because there's not support for reparations right at this moment. But that could change in time. That could change. So, but yes, California didn't pass the resolution on reparations right now, but that could be different in 2025 and 2026 as it gets more support. And that's how things happen.
But one thing though, Brother JT, like Stephen Biko speaks about, it has to be consciousness has to change first. And if Kamala can stand on the stage and suggest that, yes, when she's in front of your boy up there in New York with you with the bad hairdo, tell him, yes, yes, I will vote on it when I get in there, and then turn around and say something totally different in relatively short periods of time. We ain't talking about a long time here. We ain't talking about somebody who settled her decision. We heard even the question around reparations, how she tap danced around it when she was recently on, what's that, the Root or whatever, the Root, was it with the Root or something like that? With the black, the black journalist.
The journalist?
Yeah, the black journalist, how she tap dance and boogie down and showed you how she can do the split and the wop. You understand? And how she just danced around the question. And you asked me, let's going back to the point that I was making earlier, that you asked me, and I'm supposed to trust that as a psychotherapist. I am telling you that is some suspect behaviors if I have to put forth an analysis. Okay, one, that seems like for people who have very high morals, it's very difficult for them to stay in places where they have to buck dance. I'm going to tell you that. I guarantee you, JT, if you went in those positions, as much as you talk in this SHIT, when you get up in there, you're going to be too damn revolutionary. I mean, it's easy for you to sit back in your Brooklyn place and say that and wear your Brooklyn blue and all that type of thing. But I guarantee you that if you were up in that space, you would get the hell out of Dodge. I can almost guarantee that you could not do enough shenanigans to stay and promote that type of stuff once you got up in there. And two, let's go back to what you said to Proper. What you said to Proper is this. You said, well, look, it's not a, you said, well, you kind of supported the view that we were making when you said that most of these women aren't really supporting maybe like there's a multiplicity view with liberal white women about Palestine and Israel, right? And because there's a multiplicity and such a variety or varying thought, there's not a strong enough a position with white women when the white women, or the as my man Lamont Watkins is saying here, and I agree with him, even LGBTQ plus white LGBTQ plus issues, anything that involves white people on the quote unquote left or quote unquote liberals, because LGBTQ plus is a liberal position. White feminist stuff is a white position. Long as white people have something to do with it, it's okay. We can get all types of stuff that we think is being passed for us, but it has to be someone in white also being inflicted by it and fighting it. You know. So, and I'm not any spell to understand that someone has to. I do think though, if we had people that, if and of course this is not going to happen like tomorrow, I guarantee you, I agree with you. But if enough of us stand for something, yes, and I'm not saying just a cliche, including Kamala and some other, look, you know, Skip Gates said, right? Skip Gates said when we went to, you know, you probably saw the video when he did it. He was like, "Yeah, we all the first group of black people who benefited from affirmative action. We went in there and we had our afros and our picks and all of this thing. And you know, then when we got there, the caviar got good, and after some point we forgot we were black and we assimilated and all this type of thing." I am telling you, for someone to last as long in those systems at that level, they have to buck dance for the rest of their lives because they don't want to lose what they got.
Dennis, you know, it almost seems like you want to penalize Kamala.
It's not Kamala
being crafty.
No, she ain't being crafty. I don't agree that she's being crafty. No, but just go. Okay, back up and breathe. Understand what I just said. Look, at least listen to what I just said. At least make sense out of what I just said. I just gave you an analogy. Did you not hear the analogy?
I heard your analogy.
Okay, so what I am doing is I am equating Kamala to what Skip Gates said happened to them. They went in with their black power fist, and then the caviar got good. And when the caviar got good, the pick left the pocket, and guess what else? They left the pocket. And many times they left the pocket, and I'm not against people's choice of who they pick up, but they left the pocket for real. You know what I mean? So I think, you know, so they left the pocket and left the pocket. You dig?
Guys,
you gotta close this out, Queen.
Yeah,
this has been a spirited conversation, but we've been here for 2 hours. I mean, and I thank you everyone who's sitting here with us, Lamont, Asa, Baba Asa, and the many people. Proper. Listen, JT Facts is beautiful having you here, but it's been 2 hours.
I'm glad he came though. I was waiting for JT. I was waiting for JT. I say JT ain't responding to these things. I know he mad at me over there, but you know, I mean, I get it though. I know Kamala. I know Kamala is.
JT
I know. I mean, I know Kamala's going to make it feel softer. I get it. I understand. We like it feel softer. We like it. I get it.
He's a good
yeah,
person,
and she looks good. Yeah, so she
I don't know.
He's a good person, and I vote for good people. Trump is not a good person, bro. He's a selfish guy just for his kind and just for him.
They got overt narcissists. They got overt narcissists, and they got covert narcissists. Let me just let you know that they have overt. Hold on. What about Biden? What about Biden? Which one is he?
Thank you, because he flip flopped in our community too.
Biden has his faults. Biden has his faults. But if you want to have a conversation about his faults that he helped pass, we can have that. All right.
He didn't even.
All right, let's do it.
Let's come back. He was the one who wrote it.
JT, come with the facts next time, brother. JT, come with the facts next time. JT, come with the facts.
Let's go do this thing.
Bro, I broke you down. Look, go look at this again. Go look at this again. I hate to have put my brother on the hot seat like this today. I overestimated your challenge. I overestimated the challenge of the fact master. My dear brother up in NY.
I'm coming for you, Dennis.
Hey, look, I'm telling you. I'm telling you, I appreciate this season, right? Because I've been out of this, right, for a while. And I appreciate this season, having so many different thoughts from Dr. Ball to Dr. Kimya to JT. It's like these people help me have to think about this. And guess what? I'm coming. Because I don't need to read so much policy to know that it's BS or that is not going to give us the results that we're looking for overall. Ain't no policy going to give us that policy there that we talked about. It's good. It touches my heart. It does. My own dear mother need insulin cheaper. You got what I'm saying? I got a whole family like that. You got what I'm saying? And God knows I might need that one, might need it. But what I am saying, that ain't going to liberate us as a whole.
Listen, this has been a spirited conversation. I'm telling you. Brother Dr. Dodd, you cooking tonight.
Policies, promises, behavior is past acts.
JT, we're closing the show, JT. JT.
All right.
JT facts. It's over, bro. Listen,
blessings.
Listen, we'll be back here next Thursday. We're gonna have a fire topic. We might have to continue some of this because listen, we're about 30, like probably 30 just past 30 days before the election. So we need to have this talk more and more. And JT, I want you to look at more than just Democrat, Republican. There's other things out here. You might want to.
He knows. He knows. Don't do that to my man. He does know that. He would believe me. I don't even have to ask him. I know one time he was a third party guy, and I already know he's too. You just can tell how he talk. So we do change. I change sometimes. You know what I'm saying? I keep thinking, and then I might be over there with a blue shirt on talking about Brooklyn Kamala one day. But please smack me. You know what I'm saying? But
you crazy. You are crazy. Listen, we appreciate everybody in the chat who didn't hug Lamont. Thanks for dropping what you dropped.
B-boy Kamala.
Lamont is on it. Listen, we had some great comments in the chat tonight. We had you brothers, Brother Proper, Brother Shabazz. We love when you come on. You're always dropping it. JT, you got to come back. Bring that Brooklyn.
Well, man, bring it, man. As appreciation. Where Brooklyn at? Where Brooklyn at? I don't know if he represented right. You looking like Keedy Awadu over there. You know Keedy?
Oh my God.
You look like Keedy Awadu. I do 1,000 push-ups on my fingers, but
listen, Doc in the Box every Thursday, guys, at 9 p.m. Doc in the Box.
Hey,
Thursday at 9
hey,
p.m.
what's my dear sister? Let me apologize to her again. What's my dear sister's name? Monica. Thank you for pumping me up, Monica. Because you came for Queen, although I agreed with you. You agreed. Look, you agreed. You were supporting me, but you came for Queen. She was like, look, do your research. But so I parsed but nonetheless, look, Queen, you gonna close us out?
I'm gonna close out. Monica, I think she didn't even come from Facebook. She said I'm not even coming from YouTube, so she never came through. But anyway, we had some powerful guests who came on. And listen, this is what we do. You can come on with us. You can challenge Da. He was cooking tonight. JT, I feel sorry for you, bro. He came for you tonight. He came for you tonight. He cooked for you tonight.
Pretty love, good brother.
We have different perspectives.
Yeah. Some
perspectives are right, and some
we appreciate your love.
Right. Some perspectives are right.
Absolutely. No. What we gotta appreciate is that you see the disagreement and you still see the love, right? And that's how we should be able to do it.
Yeah, that's how it should be. So we're gonna do this again on Thursday. Listen, come on in here. I think we're gonna stay on politics a little because listen, we are close to this election. This is a conversation we should have. We love having dissenting opinions. That's what we do here. So this is Black Box Radio. This is please like, share, subscribe. Go to Dar's page, Dr. Dennis Asar Winkler. Like, share, subscribe over there too. And black up the algorithm. We box them out. Let's get some deuces, bro. We out of here. JT. All right, we gone, guys.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is DOC.